Thanks for listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. I'm your host, Mike Luke, joined by the great Jason Shear. Hello, Jason Shear. How are you doing today?
Splendid, Michael. How are you?
I have many things to talk about with you today. And again, we have already in here Tom Lemke, a new name. Who would have ever thought the coaching staff would have been the team's #1 failure? We will talk about all of that. But first, we're going to talk about Duane Akina. We're going to talk about playing the right players. We are going to talk about PFF. We are going to talk about a multitude of things. Jeremiah Patterson, do we have a redemption? I'm going to wait until Joseph is in here so we can really go with our Joseph.
Took a deep dive into the numbers last night, Mike and I.
We did a deep dive, and you know what? We are rescinding the Jeremiah Patterson apology. That apology you thought you had, throw it away. It is not applicable anymore. Okay, but first, Duane Akina. We're going to lead with the old white guy. Shear, obviously, he's been very good. We've been over this a million times, but let me ask you this, though. What has surprised you? Oh, by the way, Joseph, I am an ender of agendas. We're going to get to our agenda in a second. But
we don't end it.
We talked about
agenda going.
We talked about Joseph for probably about 5 to 10 minutes last night and how we could get Joseph back. And Joseph, we have an agenda for you. Also, Nick Arenas, good day, Skier and Mike. I love how Skier's become mainstream now. It's so happy. I'm so happy about it.
My biggest surprise with Akina is going to sound like an insult, but it's not. I promise it's not. And I think you'll agree. So hear me out. A lot of I think we discussed this actually. A lot of older coordinators have difficulty adjusting to what modern football looks like, right?
Like Duane or like Dino Babers.
Yeah. And so I think my biggest surprise is the fact that Arizona can face spread teams and all that. And Akina has had no trouble adjusting. The only difficulty adjusting, I actually don't really blame on him, and that's the running quarterback thing. I mean, that's clearly an issue, but just the fact that they've been able to adjust and show different looks and all that, I'm pleasantly surprised with in a non-insulting way.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a very insulting way. What I'm also impressed by, too, is that he's gotten different guys ready to play. Arizona's had a lot of different injuries throughout the season. I mean, you just look at it, look at a guy like Emmanuel Carnley. We weren't expecting him to really have a huge role, and that was a pure insult. Gringo Billy called it out. That was a pure insult.
It's not, because, Babers has no ability. There's other coordinators, older coordinators, that don't have the ability to adjust at all.
Yeah. Well, all right. Either way, that was a tepid compliment.
He hasn't been a defensive coordinator.
Let's see. What's that?
He's only been a defensive coordinator one other time. It's impressive.
He was also an offensive coordinator here at the U of A. Did you know that?
I think I know what you're saying here, Michael.
Okay, but either way, he's a man of many tricks, a man of many seasons. June Thomas, the lovely June Thomas in here already. Mike, the pennant behind you always reminds me of a big chocolate chip cookie.
I see it. It doesn't look like basketball from far away.
By the way, we got a St. Louis person. A person posted on the board and nobody had any clue what they were talking about, and it was fantastic. Did you see that on your message board? The St. Louis player from Arizona?
Yeah. I had no idea what that dude was saying. I thought he was.
No, but we were talking about guys from St. Louis. So anyways, let's talk about Duane Akina, though, a little bit more. What I've also been really impressed is his, and before the season, I have this on good authority, that Duane Akina thought that there is more than enough talent here for me to be successful. It is on me to be able to make this a good defense. And that was kind of a repeated theme. And so let's talk about the secondary first. Like I said, you've obviously dealt with a lot of injuries. Traden Stukes done for the year. His pops put that out. That's obviously a big loss. Might see him back here next year again. But then Emmanuel Carnley in there, ready to go. Genesis Smith. He's been able to move around all of the defensive backs to where they're still playing really good football at this stage, with losing a Gunnar Maldonado, a Traden Stukes, et cetera, et cetera.
He has done a very good job at covering up what is still, in my opinion, a complete lack of depth. They don't have depth. And he's done a very good job at covering it up. I mean, even look at last game. People are trashing Owen Goss, and he had a very few his first possessions weren't good, but he calmed down and wound up settling into that Texas Tech game. He really wasn't bad. And the ability to lose Stukes, the ability to really, Genesis Smith has taken off this year. He's going to be really good. And you're right, it's impressive. Marquise Gross-Killebrew is injured a little bit, Carnley goes in there with little drop off. This is going to be the test. What do you do without Stooks and Gunner against a pretty solid BYU team? But we'll see.
You know what's interesting, though?
No.
The depth, and I agree with what you're saying about the depth, but the depth is fascinating to me because if you could lose Stooks and Gunner, but then we still look at it and what you have. You still have a Tetairoa Davis. You still have a Marquise Groves Killebrew and Emmanuel Carnley. And then in the secondary, you still have Dalton Johnson. You still have Genesis Smith. You also still have Owen Goss. So the secondary's actually got some fairly decent depth to it. Sheer, I see you rolling your eyes. You're wrong. Unroll them.
I think I get what you're saying, but there's still like does Arizona have to play Jack Luttrell this weekend? They might.
I mean, but I'm saying if you got 8 good DBs, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but you're talking starters as depth. Like Tetairoa Davis and Groves Killebrew are starters. That doesn't count as depth. If Tetairoa Davis went down, who's the corner behind him?
Well, they've already had a corner go down.
Okay. If Tetairoa goes down, who's the corner behind him?
Well, you had 4 good corners. How about this? You have 4 good corners and you have 4 good safeties. Isn't that good enough?
3 good corners.
What?
They have 3 good corners. Who's the 4th?
Well, you had Stooks. You had.
Okay, we had. I'm just saying. I think this is the first weekend where that depth is really going to get tested.
Okay,
that's my point. I think we're making. I think we're on the same page. I'm just
what I have been most what I've been Oh, by the way, hit the like button. Yes, very very much appreciate that. What I've also been very impressed with is what he's done with the defensive line, because that was my question going into the season. I'm still not sure that isn't my question, but he's done a very nice job with it. I think getting Isaiah Johnson more run has obviously been good. Stanley has been nice in there as well. Then obviously on the edges, you've gotten a solid play. That to me was the question going into the season, and I think the D line has performed very admirably the last couple games.
Mike, are you ready to give Joe some credit?
No, I'm giving Duane Akina credit.
Oh, come on. You and many others don't like Joe Sumala, right?
You don't like him either. You all do.
You're right. I'm not a big fan of Joe Sumala, but I'm absolutely willing to give him credit for the last 2-3 weeks. The D line has looked significantly better than it did early in the season. Now, it may be Akina for some personnel changes. I don't know. But either way, it's looked better, right? It's not inept. And it didn't look good against running quarterbacks. I don't know if that's scheme, if that's D-line, whatever it may be. But we can all agree that it's looked good the last, 2 weeks? It looked great against Utah.
Would you say that maybe coincides with Isaiah Johnson playing more?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's not just Isaiah Johnson. I think it's when you look at the numbers of snaps, like we all said Lance Kennelly wasn't playing well. Lance Kennelly played 3 snaps against Texas Tech.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like guys that weren't playing well aren't playing as much. And the guys that were are. Like this week is actually perfect for Isaiah Johnson because it's a power run game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like maybe Kennelly, we'll see if Kennelly didn't play against Tech because they're faster. I don't know. But like Isaiah Johnson is better than Chuba, and I think Chuba's in a boot again. I would be surprised if he plays.
Oh, that was a big admission from you right there. But
I spoke highly of Isaiah Johnson in the preseason.
Yeah, but
Isaiah Johnson.
I just mainly want to give you crap, but you're right. By the way, good shout out to our good friend Ben One White, who is on his way to Spain and probably scouting tight ends in Spain right now. Maybe that would be the case.
The international tight end whisperer. Ben will go far and wide to find the right tight end.
Correct. Now we're talking about when we go with we go Isaiah Johnson. A coach also told me too. He said Isaiah Johnson is the only quick twitch interior. Dennis Walsh, a lot of amazing tight ends in Spain. He said Isaiah Johnson is the only guy of girth. How about that? Another of girth that has quick twitch to him that can actually stress. Chuba is like a fire hydrant. Chuba is just going to sit there, whereas Isaiah Johnson can actually stress an offensive line. That is the difference. Isaiah Johnson can get upfield, where Chuba is. I don't know that Chuba is built to be able to get upfield. How about
Chuba's not mobile at all. At all.
Right.
And he's not a good fit for what this staff wants to do. He's a better fit for the staff that brought him in, which was actually, people forget, Fish and Company were the ones that brought in Chuba. He's a great fit, I think, for that because they never rushed the quarterback. Not in a bad way. They just that wasn't their role with the interior lineman. He would have been very good, I think, in that defense. In this defense, it makes no sense. That's why, people were upset about the size and the girth of the linemen. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to move. And if you're big and can't move, it's a waste. Isaiah Johnson can at least move. That's why you see, Darton playing a little bit more lately, because he can move and things like that.
Now, Joe, what do you think about Joseph? Cannot forgive him for running off BBN, but he finally came to his senses with Isaiah and sitting Chuba. What say you, Jason Shearer?
Huh? Who's BBN?
BBN?
Yeah. Oh, the dude that plays 7 snaps a game for Texas.
The guy that starts for the #1 ranked team in the country. That guy.
He lost the starting job.
That guy. What do you say? But you did admit that he was probably significantly better than Chuba.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, either way, odd decision there. But either way, the defense though has turned into a fairly formidable unit. They got to be able to keep it up. But I think Jason Shearer, you actually hit on something that I think is a very, very good point. And we're going to get to that. I mean, every now and then you get one. But guess what, everybody? The tease is coming up. Get ready for the 2-second pause coming up here. Empire Flooring. Empire Flooring. Now, many people are saying that maybe Benwan White is going to Spain to look for tight ends. Maybe he's also going there to look for flooring. I'm sure.
Maybe they're related.
I don't know. Either way, check it out. Empire Flooring, my friends. Now, you might say to yourself, what kind of flooring does Jason Shearer have? Probably Empire Flooring. And if he doesn't, that's why he's a putz. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details. I have to be able to get new Empire Flooring maybe for Ted Wardo, who keeps going and destroying my floors with wiping himself on the floors. Empire Flooring has it covered. Now, you might be like Kevin Thomas, the prodigious Kevin Thomas, and you were living in the cottages when you were at the U of A on 22nd. But Empire Flooring, they might have had a little bit of a thing in there as well, because the flooring is fantastic. Check it out, Empire Flooring. Now, one other one. Game time.
Yes.
The floor is yours, Jason Shearer.
Game time. One time, Mike, I don't know if anyone's heard this story before. I was at the Alamo Bowl, and there was a very nice gentleman with his daughter who did not have tickets yet. I said, sir, the game kicks off here in a few hours. And he said, sir, don't you worry. I downloaded the Game Time app. And there you go.
Now, by the way, have those Jeremiah Patterson stats up, because we're going to bludgeon Joseph with those in a second.
Got it.
But as I do that, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time. What time is it? Game time. Ooh. Okay. Now, let's talk about. Oh, by the way, Ted Wardo is back here. Go away, Ted Wardo.
You're so mean to him.
Now let's see here. Brad Rich, the great Brad Rich, says, do we think this Alamo Bowl guy knows his story gets told daily? No idea.
He watches this show every day. He told me. He texted me.
Yes, exactly. All right, now let's talk. Now we're going to get to the offense here and playing the right people, and maybe they could learn a little something from Duane Akina. But first, Joseph has been on top of us nonstop about Jeremiah Patterson, saying, let it go, let it go, let it go. And listen, to the untrained eye, you might say to yourself, he's probably right. Jason Shearer and I did a deep dive yesterday on Jeremiah Patterson.
About 10 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock at night. I said, Mike, I'm tired of this slander.
And we have the angle that we can all right. So Shearer, let's first of all go with targets here.
I'm glad you asked, Mike. First of all, I think it's fair to go big picture here. Okay. T-Mac has 59 targets. The next closest player is Quali with 19. Jeremiah Patterson has 14. Montana has more targets than Jeremiah Patterson. Patterson only has been targeted 14 times in 5 games.
How many catches, though, out of those 14?
I'm glad you asked, Mike. Nine catches for 14 yards.
9 out of 14. That is probably the highest percentage on the team, Jason Shearer.
Basically, and again, make of this what you will. 25% of his catches go for touchdowns.
25% of them go for touchdowns. Also, besides just that, with Jeremiah Patterson. When he's targeted, he's catching the ball. Listen, going into every single game, you're getting T-Max being targeted left and right. Can you imagine with these numbers what Jeremiah Patterson would be putting up if he was getting 15 targets a game? Well, thanks for asking, because he would probably end up, if we extrapolate these out, he would probably end up with 3 touchdowns per game and 10 catches? You have got to be able to get this man in action, period.
He has only played 113 pass snaps. He's been used as a receiver, Mike, 108 times, right? Montana, 136. Sam Olsen, 88. Like he's 4th on the team in receiving snaps.
Yes.
It's unacceptable.
And that's what I've got to say. So, sure, we got beat down by Joseph, and we just gave in, and we gave in too easily. Joseph, that apology, it has been rescinded. No, Joseph. No.
And I'm willing to say this could be the week. BYU could be the week.
BYU could be the week. And again, we're all in. But again, can you imagine? We need to have one game where it is 15 targets for Jeremiah Patterson. And if it's 15 targets, I think that we look at the numbers, we can expect 10 catches and 2-3 touchdowns.
Look, all I know is this, Mike. I want to see one game where he's targeted more than Montana. If that game happens and he doesn't produce, I'm willing to step back. But until then, I just can't do it in good faith.
We can't do it. We have to stand on principle. We have to stand on business. How about that?
Can't do it.
All right. So again, there's nothing. All right. Now let's get to you mentioned all right, Joseph. Joseph, you're getting smart. He says,
Joseph. By the way, 3 for 16. Probably Arizona's second leading receiver that game.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Now, all right, let's talk about now. Rudy Martinez is in here. By the way, if your name was Rudy Martinez, which is another great name, would you go by Rumart?
Ooh, that's good. I might go with Routinez.
Routine. I like Routinez as well.
Yeah.
Either way, Sterling Lane does not count as St. Louis. Didn't go there. But let's talk about playing the right players. This is something else we need to talk about. Duane Akina, we gave him credit for deciding with somebody like Lance Kennelly, probably not going to get it done. So guess what? Lance Kennelly doesn't play anymore. Why do we have to do this? Why are we having to go through this on the offensive side? Why do we have to watch Ryan Stewart? Why do we have to watch Sam Olsen do absolutely
nothing? For you. What upsets you more, Sam Olsen or Ryan Stewart?
Sam Olsen.
Interesting. I think it's Ryan Stewart because, okay, you go first, and I'll tell you why.
Well, here's the deal. Because Kean Burnett, we know that he's really, really good. And we know that he has shown that he can be a game breaker. Arizona has, for whatever reason, not shown that they have other game breakers. Kean Burnett, I believe, is more important to the passing game. Ryan Stewart is he's not good either. I don't want to say that, but
it's tough. There is no right answer. The right answer is neither of them play as much as they should. The only thing I will say about Burnett, and I give a slight amount of credit, I don't think he plays enough. Don't get me wrong.
You would play him more than Sam Olsen. This is true.
Yes, and he's 3rd on the team in targets. So at least when he's in, they do throw the ball to him, which makes you live with it. Ryan Stewart is a net negative. Like I can't figure out
anything.
Right. Like I don't know why he plays.
Well, we looked at
Brett Brennan would say injury, and it was funny. I asked Adkins about Burnett yesterday, and he smiled. He totally knew the question was coming, and he said Burnett's ready to break out. And he said he had a great practice, but the fact of the matter is, and Baber said this too, is that he's always banged up.
All right, now let's see here. Cosmic Contrarian, you're wrong here because there is no depth, Mike. No, you do not start when you have Alexander Deuce and you have Wendell Moy. Guess what you don't do? You don't start Ryan Stewart.
I'm going to ask Brendan about that tomorrow.
I mean, seriously, now, do we think, and I asked William Brad Allis, your guy, William Brad Allis, by the way, who got the lovely Shelby Shearer job, very responsible for a job up in Marana. We got to give Brad Allis a lot of credit for that. That is true, Jason Shearer.
Not at all, but we're going to keep going with it.
Okay. Now, Brad Rich says, Brad Rich mocking Skier right now. Why aren't you coaching better, and why isn't the team playing better?
To be fair, and I respect my fellow journalists, I think we would all agree I asked the best press conference questions.
Well, it's better because here's the problem, though, is half the people in basketball and football, well, they don't, and that's not half the people. It's like 2 people. They don't know how to ask questions. They don't ask a question. They just go, well, coach, I saw that.
Can you talk about?
there was a football player out there. And it's
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
ask good question. I ask good questions.
Yeah, no, you did. Fair enough. That is a good point. But with let's see, what were we just talking about?
Anybody on the side, we're getting Duane Akina today. So if you want me to ask Duane a question, type it in and I'll ask.
Oh man, is Jeff Bowe making him available?
Yes. Duane Akina. I think it's Duane, Genesis, and Stanley. By the way, Stanley is another guy that has played more and played very well lately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what we're talking about. Playing the right people. You need to play the right people. I don't care about this if there was some handshake agreement from guys at San Jose State. The ones that are good, you can play. Trey Smith, Quali Conley, they're good. Play them. The ones that aren't good,
really weird. This isn't a Brent Brennan issue. Like, I still go back when we talk about playing the right guys to Stoops not playing Tremaine Bondurant, getting fired, and Kitchen's like, Tremaine, you are in. Like, you know?
Same thing with Kadeem Carey. They were playing Keone Antolin, and then he's like, yeah, we're gonna start giving Kadeem.
And I'm sure all over the nation, there's people that are wondering, like, why isn't this dude playing? Like UNLV's quarterback, right? The backup is clearly better than Sluka, right? Clearly better. And Sluka had to quit the team for this guy to play. It's just weird. It's weird, and coaches all over the country do it.
By the way, NMRX Dispatch asks, Brian Peterson just wants to know what the team's masking policy is.
I like Brian. He's an acquired taste, but I like him.
Oh, it's something that's very serious to him. So we will not judge. Antolin was not Kadeem Carey. Antolin was another guy that went down with a strong.
Mike doesn't even know his name. What you call him before? Do you remember his first name?
Keone Antolin.
No. Keola. It was Keola, not Keola.
Same thing. Tomato. But you would agree, though, that it's probably better to play the right players.
Yeah, I think it helps. I think when you play your better players, it helps your team.
Okay, now, Noah Fifita. I am going to go out on record and say this is going to be a big game for Noah Fifita. He knows that Jason Shearer is traveling up to Provo. Oh, yeah, you're off Friday. Dang it. He knows that Jason Shearer is traveling up to Provo. What do we put? What chances do we put that he has a good game? I think he's going to have a good game. I really do.
Did you? I didn't realize this until I was looking last night. Just how good this BYU defense has been this year. They're like top 10 in every defensive category that exists, and like top 5 in every passing.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Like, they are awesome defensively. The Arizona's going to have a tough time scoring. If Noah goes out there and gets like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, I consider that a successful game. Like, some of the numbers that opposing quarterbacks have put up are awful.
Okay, but again, they haven't played Arizona, though.
They haven't played the powerful offensive. I almost had second thoughts about my predictions reading all those defensive stats. I got a little nervous last night.
Cosmic Contrarian says BYU is going to try to knock the snot out of us. Do not underestimate BYU. Cosmic Contrarian coming with some really hard-hitting information today.
They are indeed going to try to tackle Arizona. Yes, I can underestimate. See, here's one thing I always get annoyed at. No offense, but offense, whatever. Why? Who cares if fans underestimate anyone?
I agree.
Like, that always happens on the message board. Like, don't underestimate them. I'll underestimate whoever I want.
Yes, I can do all of those. I will underestimate who I want, and guess what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So what? Boom. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now TJ Van Martyr says, now here's the thing. I don't think that we have to be on he says, what about the cheating? That always concerns me. When it comes to cheating, I don't know that BYU is going to cheat as much. I think they have a little higher scruples. But listen, at the end of the day, when it comes to cheating, people are going to cheat. And that is something we have to we cannot underestimate the cheating factor.
No, they're going to cheat, Mike. I think everyone that plays Arizona
widespread, not like ASU level and Utah level.
No. But I think when there's going to be clear times where they cheat. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Yeah. All right. Now let's talk about on the running game. Quali Conley. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I have absolutely no problems whatsoever with the running back room, and I give a lot of credit to Alonzo Carter for what they've been able to do. Kedrick Reesino. Quali Conley has been a nice little 2-1, 1-2 punch, depending on how you look at it. I look for them to continue to run well.
By the way, that's a really good point that our guy Luden just brought up. They have a bye week, though. Yeah, I like when you go on record as saying you wouldn't fire a coach. Like, you know what? I like Zoe. I wouldn't fire him. That's just the Mike Luke stamp of approval. I actually want to see more running game this week, Mike. I want to see a split. 30 passes, 30 runs. A 50-50 is good for me. I don't like
I gave a stamp of approval for Alonzo Carter. I like Alonzo Carter.
I know, that's what I just said.
Oh.
I just said that. I said, I know when you like a coach because you don't want him fired. I think it's funny when you start a thread and you go, I like Alonzo Carter.
Yeah, I just want people to know. I mean,
I want to be on record. I like this guy. I like Anthony Camino.
Let's talk about BYU fans for a second here. Here's where I'm at with BYU fans and why I far prefer them to Utah.
They give out free ice cream. That's number one.
Yes. Now, BYU fans are very comfortable in the fact that they are from Hawaii, from Utah. They don't, and you know what? They're from Utah. They are proud to be from Utah. They don't have to overcompensate. Utah fan, many of them are embarrassed to be from Utah, so they feel the need to have to throw out F-bombs and things like that. And it comes across as hollow. It is not impressive. That is the difference to me and why BYU fan is far superior to Utah fan.
Yeah, I like BYU fans. Very nice, very understanding of where they are in the big picture college football world, at least as of now. Still skeptical. I mean, look, if Utah was 5-0, we'd be hearing about how they could beat the Patriots, right? Yes. BYU fans are more like, oh, we're pretty good, but I don't know if we're there yet. Like, it's been nice.
No, they're good people. So far, I very much like what we have seen from them. So I will continue to give them a little bit of credit.
You need to try the creamer in the soda.
Maybe something. It sounds like something Ben White would have, the creamer in the soda. But all right, we're going to get to a little bit of Arizona basketball here in a moment. But Matt Adkins met with the media. I like Matt Adkins. I like what he comes. You made a rare good point, but it's a point that must be spoken on. Where you said this guy should do all the press conferences for the Arizona coaches.
Yeah, I like Matt Adkins. You texted me and you said, what did you think? There's no BS with him. He said multiple times, we're just not doing what we're supposed to be doing. Also down to earth at the same. Like he's like it sometimes feels, and I don't think it's a huge deal, but it sometimes feels like Brennan is balancing down to earth. Like, am I going to be your friend or am I going to be your coach? Even with the media, Adkins does a very nice job of balancing that out. Good dude.
He's an impressive guy. You watch him, but he's an impressive guy.
Yeah. I like him. I like Matt Adkins.
He doesn't come across as like, here's the thing that like Dino Babers didn't get in press conferences. He was better in his last one when he was demoted, but he was the ones where nobody wants to see you go out there and be snarky with people for no reason. I mean, Matt Adkins just kind of came across as a normal, happy-go-lucky dude that also knew that knows football, and he didn't come across it. Like I said, I mean, it's not a massive deal what Brent Brennan said, but when you say everybody is running in the wrong direction, like it just doesn't come off the same way that when Matt Adkins was talking about it. I like Matt Adkins, to be honest with you.
Yeah, look at us. See, everyone says we don't like people. We like all people.
Yes, we do like people. Now, this is called a tease coming up here. Get ready for the 2-second delay.
Can I count it down?
Yes. Neutral.
Yes.
Neutral. Okay. Now, you might say to yourself, Matt Adkins, that looks like a man of the people. Probably a dude that drinks neutral. I bet Matt Adkins drinks neutral. Wouldn't you assume?
Oh, yeah. Probably drinking it right now while watching film.
Yes, he would probably drink it right now as we're watching film. Keep it tasty, though, just like Kevin Thomas. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Neutral flavored vodka and carbonation, St. Louis, Missouri. Now, our good friend Erica L. Day likes neutral, maybe a little bit too much neutral on game days.
He's just thirsty.
Yes, maybe a little bit too much neutral on game days, but either way, check it out. Neutral, you will thank me later for this one. It is very, very tasty stuff, Jason Shear. We very much like neutral, and it is also from where the St. Lunatic is from, St. Louis, Missouri. All right, neutral. Now, also, branded bills.
Branded bills.
When I look at branded bills, I look at and I think Matt Adkins definitely has a branded bills. I don't think there's any way around it. Sheer, would you agree with this?
I will ask him, but I mean, duh. That's my first thought. Duh.
Yes. Branded bills. Head to brandedbills.com and use code PHNX for 20% off your first order. Kevin Thomas, the prodigious Kevin Thomas, has branded bills. We need to get Kevin Thomas back modeling the branded bills. By the way, check this branded bills hat out right there. Doesn't this feel like something that Matt Adkins would wear at a presser?
Absolutely. Look how clean it is, too.
Oh, no, it's very clean. So fresh, so clean. On my way to New Orleans. Jeezy right there. Very, very
Wow, I
good.
thought you were going to go with the Outcast one there, but I like it.
No. Yeah. So fresh, so clean on my way to New Orleans. But either way, branded bills, premium headwear and apparel, save 20% with code PHNX. I would certainly assume that Benwan White is wearing some of this headwear as he is in Spain. Check.
España.
Yep. Check it out. Either way, branded bills, you will thank me later. All right, now we're going to get to a little bit of, we're going to get back to this, but we're going to get to a little bit of Arizona. We're going to get to a little bit of Arizona basketball. Duane Aristode, great name, great game. He is somebody that the University of Arizona basketball staff would very, very much want to have on their team. Arizona lost out on Nick Kamania. Duane Aristode out of Brewster Academy, very, very good. A 5-star player. If the Tommy Gun could get him, it'd be very nice. Plus, Travis Branham from 24/7 Sports has put in a crystal ball prediction for Duane Aristode to the University of Arizona. What say you?
Yeah, he's going to probably make a decision this week. That's the expectation. It's Arizona or USC for him at this time. I think Arizona is where it wants to be. You never know. In this day and age, I always caution, like, look, I could tell you this kid's committing to Arizona tomorrow. I'm just saying that, hypothetically. And then USC comes in and is like, oh, we got $200,000 more to pay you, right? It's just a completely different era. But Arizona's right there for him. We'll call it final two. And he's a really good player. I like him quite a bit.
He would be a very scrumptious addition to the 2025 class, even though we have nobody in the 2025 class yet. But that would be very, very nice. Shearer, he's also a guy that is probably athletically, he is through the roof. He has a developing skill set. Somebody with it's kind of interesting. You look at the different recruiting rankings, and he is he's kind of I don't want to say he's a lightning rod, but one scouting service has him at 8. You guys have him at 28. And so he's I think the potential is viewed very much as being top 10, but there's also some body language concerns.
Yeah, let's not pretend like 28's bad here. So defensively, I think he's going to be a stud. I mean, he's a 6'8" wing, really good, steals, blocks, all that. Offensively, he's a little raw. Not
Emmanuel Acott.
Yeah. I've only seen Aristode once in person. I saw Acott way too much. But body language and motor is kind of something that they got to get it figured out. But I think Tommy, I trust Tommy to kind of get that squared away. Tommy is very picky.
Disciplinarian. I mean, let's be honest here. If a player goes wayward with Tommy's going to be on him immediately.
But I'll say this, right? Like, Tommy is very picky. So if he's offering and wants Aristode, obviously they don't think the body language is an issue.
Okay. Now, if the body language were to become an issue, do you think that it would be addressed or no?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not Arizona?
All right. Yes. Either way, Tommy Gunn, he is the man. I want him here as long as possible. That was just me being silly. Duane Aristode, though, would be a very nice addition. Now, Koa Pete. Let me ask you this, Skier. If you were to have a Koa Pete, Duane Aristode, and Braden Burry's class, do you think people would? What?
That's hot. That's a hot class.
That is Branded Bill's Speedo hot right there. That is how cool that is. That was a very funny remark on the side. Those 3 guys, though, possibly 3 McDonald's All-Americans. Yes, sir. Sign me up for 3 in case we want seconds and thirds.
Yeah, you got your Aristode and Pete could play together. You got your long athletic wing. You got Pete. Burry's your point. I mean, that's about as good of a class as Arizona. That's it. I'm cool with that class.
Hey, by the way, you know what Burry's rhymes with?
No, what?
Furries.
Oh, no.
Oh, maybe we'll talk about furries in a little bit.
Oh, Mike. I knew this already, but now I could say it officially. They're releasing the men's basketball times here in about an hour. They just released the women's. They're going to release the men's. So what it is, Mike, is it's only games that teams own. So Arizona's going to release their games, but not the Battle of Atlantis, not the game at Wisconsin, because they don't own those games. But the national games, like Arizona Woman, Mike, Arizona Woman, January 31st, national television.
Oh, man. Seriously, Arizona Women. That's
it. That's their only national game. But national FS1, Arizona Woman,
How is that only? How do they only have one game?
One game, like on they have more. They're going to release more. You'll see.
All right. So we know what time.
Then at 12. So you'll get the Duke game time, which I already know, will be released today. All the home games will be released today.
Do we know what time the Old Dominion game is?
We will today.
All right, we're gonna know today. All right, I need to know that one. You will let me know on the Old Dominion one.
What is it about that one?
I just need to know that's the one that's on November 9th, I think.
I don't know.
That's also a bye week for Arizona football.
Wow. Yeah.
Arizona has 2 bye weeks that week. Also, did you see ESPN? I should have sent this to the prodigious Kevin Thomas, but I didn't. TJ Van Martyr says Mike Luke is frothing at the mouth for the Old Dominion game. Who isn't? Get in line there, buddy. So let me ask you this though, Sheer. I thought ESPN had a very, very good ranking with Arizona and where they had them. I thought it was very, very good. At 9, I think 9 is more than fair, Skier.
Yeah, I mean, how am I going to complain about 9? What's crazy is what were there 3 Big 12 teams out of Arizona? 4? Was it 4?
Arizona was the 5th.
Kansas, Baylor, Houston, Iowa State were all ahead of Arizona, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I would be curious if that's ever happened to have 5 teams in the preseason top 10, and the 5th one is obviously not even all that is not there. I don't know what else to say.
I'm trying to think. Even when the ACC was good, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so, man. That's some pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah. I'm very curious. I think that'll probably be the preseason poll too. Maybe Arizona sneaks into 4, but it's pretty wild seeing an Arizona team that would very clearly be favored to win the Pac-12 be picked to finish 5th in the Big 12.
Now, let me ask you this. Houston's one team that I'm curious about with all this. With Houston, by the way, I did not see ASU on any of the preseason top 10 rankings. I have looked, and I have not seen them anywhere, Sheer.
Yeah, I keep looking, but I think if we look hard enough.
I don't think they're there. I don't know. Now, our good friend Devinall, maybe you could look and see if you could find them in the preseason top 10 or top 25 or top 35, because again, they got a massive class. Let's talk about ASU for a second here in the Big 12. I am all for watching ASU in the Big 12 this year, Sheer.
Yeah, I'm very curious. John Rothstein said that ASU and UCF were his sleeper teams.
John Rothstein's fake hair annoys me. Like there's
annoys me. Can I say that? I think it might be a PBS employee, but whatever.
I can definitely do without John Rothstein.
Yeah.
For some reason.
ASU is going to be very interesting to me. Very interesting.
Yes, exactly. Totri would love the potential of Sanon over Love. That is funny, Mr. Dennis Walsh.
Totri would 100% take Sanon over Love. I have no doubt in my mind.
Now, let me ask you this. Caleb Love, would he be the first person, if he were to win the Big 12 Player of the Year, would he be the first major conference player to win Player of the Year in in 2 different leagues?
I doubt it. I don't know.
Oh, I think I'm right.
Hunter Dickinson wasn't like Player of the Year at Kansas or anything.
No, he wasn't Player of the Year at Kansas.
I
think it would be the first time.
I'm going to Google this. You look pretty. College basketball players.
I think it would be the first time that somebody's ever done that. That's what I think is impressive about all that. No, he didn't win the ACC.
I agree with you. Who cares?
All right, now let's talk about Caleb Love in the Big 12. Caleb Love in the Big 12 to me is all kinds of fascinating because, again, Tommy has talked about, the areas that he can improve on. It's going to be interesting. No, he didn't win Player of the Year at UNC. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do, because what are you looking for from a statistical expectation for Caleb Love? Because I'm more like 18 points, 17, 18 points, but I also wanted around 44 to 45% from the field, Sheer.
All right, so last year he was at 18, 5, 3, and 41. I want to see 18, 4, 4, and 45.
All right, I'll take it.
His assist numbers can go up a little bit, and I want to see him a little bit more efficient.
Yes, but the biggest key, though, I'm going to keep saying this: free throws, my friend, free throws. Hey, by the way, does everybody in the U of A starting 5 average in double figures?
Yeah.
Wait a second, though. Aren't you going to extrapolate that out and say, Jason, you're predicting they're going to score 500 points each game?
You are, but yeah.
I just asked you.
Also, to answer that question, no, Caleb Love did not win ACC Player of the Year.
No, he didn't.
No.
No, I thought that was an interesting.
It is. I get it. But yeah,
All right.
I actually do.
Now, Houston, let's talk Houston for a second. I don't know. Out of all those teams, I don't know that I'm necessarily as huge on Houston, mainly because I don't know how they're going to score. That to me is the question.
I have one major issue with Houston, and I've been on record as saying this, and I will not back down, Mike. I think Milo Zuzon sucks.
I agree.
And that is a wild drop off from him to Jamal Shed.
That's what I'm saying.
And that is my big question that I have with Houston is how, I mean, that is a wild drop off. And when Houston needed a bucket, it was always Jamal Shed. Now when they need a bucket, who's that guy going to be?
It's just going to be LJ Cryer, and I like LJ Cryer, but he's not that.
Maybe they need Arsenault to step up. I like Houston. I get picking them ahead of Arizona. I don't like Milo Zuzon. I never have.
Yeah, but I just don't know how they're going to score. That is still my problem. Now you could say that they're just going to beat up Arizona, or you could just say they're going to beat up teams. I get it. I still don't know how they're going to score, though. That is my concern.
They don't have to. They'll just win 60-50 like they always do.
All right. Well, I guess that does work. Now, Baylor to me is, I think Baylor has if anybody is going to beat Kansas, not named Arizona, I think it's going to be Baylor. You don't like Scott Drew. You've never liked Scott Drew. Even after he won the championship, you said that Scott Drew sucks.
Jerome Tang made Scott Drew. Prove me wrong.
All right. Well, I guess this is going to be the year that we're going to prove he's going to prove
me wrong, Mike. You can't do it yet.
This is a nice roster that he's got, though.
Just VJ Edcomb's a bad dude.
VJ Edgecombe's a bad guy. Jeremy, I almost said Kerwin Roach. Who's Kerwin Roach?
They have Kerwin Roach. You just combined a bunch of names.
It's Jeremy Roach, and then they've got the guy from Miami that somehow averaged like 35 and 15 last year, and we had no clue who he was until he entered the portal.
Norchad Omir.
Norcheed or something?
Norchad Omir. They're good. They got Jalen. They got Celestine from Cal. He transferred in. They got Langston Love back. They got Edgecombe. Yeah, they're good. They're a good team.
I would imagine, Kermit Roach. Or no, not Kermit Roach, Jeremy Roach. That's what I
combine Kermit Walton with Jeremy Roach. Kermit Roach. Yeah, I get it.
Kermit Walton's still not in the in college basketball, is he?
He was on Tech last year.
Yeah, I don't know. Could we be seeing Kermit Walton this year?
Let me see here, Mike. Let me see. He was a senior year last year. But does he have one more year? Mike, I got big news. He's back, baby. He's a super senior.
Yes. So that means we get to see Kermit Walton this year.
Yeah, he shot 48% from three at the age of 30. So that's pretty cool.
No, I mean Kermit Walton, Kobe, because when I was working for Shear before Shear fired me,
that's one of the reasons I fired you.
I messed up a couple kids' names, and when he answered the phone, I said, "Is this Kermit?" And then he goes, he said, Kermit. And then I said, Kermit Walton. And he says, no, it's Kerwin Walton. And I'm like, oh.
The best to me is still the Shane Noel thing.
Yeah, Shane Noel, who's not even good, and his brother Jalen Noel's in the NBA. And I'm like, hey, is Jalen Noel there? And he's like, no. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Click. Oh, Mike, you were such an efficient worker for me.
No, I know I was. I was one of the best workers that you probably ever come across, and that's why Mike Luke was fired. Exactly. Also, I love people that go on your boards and think that I work for 24/7.
Yeah, I have to make that clear, especially the ASU board. Like, what you say when you start threads on furries, you don't represent 24/7. You represent Michael Luke.
Exactly. And I keep getting all these people are like, can you believe this guy's paid by 24/7? No, I am not. No.
I pay Mike $1,000 a month to start furry threads and threads about parts.
Yes, exactly. Now, let's talk about furries for a minute. So I was at the U of A Student Union yesterday, picking up some Panda Express. Very tasty, very tasty. I got the double order of orange chicken with Mandarin chicken, fried rice, and a large Coke. But I did not know what furry was until like 2 weeks ago. I spotted two furries in the wild, and they were in the they were in the student union. Sure, but these were interesting furries though, because the furries that I've seen before, the ones that live down the street from me, was all dressed up in like a tiger outfit, and when she answered the phone, she goes meow, and so I just, it just is what it is. These were different furries though. These were like half furries though, because they had on like the ears, and they had the tail, but and some face paint, but they were not all out furries. Are those quasi furries?
This bothers Mike so much, everyone. Mike,
No, it doesn't bother me. I'm
no, it bothers you. It bothers you. You want to get I'm gonna find you a furry documentary, and I'm gonna on Netflix or something. There has to be one, and I want you to watch it.
Did you know how much some of these costumes are? They're like $2,000.
Remember what I said when I pick up Brie? I'm gonna try to get some pictures for you.
Yeah, exactly. But this is something that is very, like I said, I did not know that this was a thing. And you say that you say that when you pick up your lovely daughters, there are many furries that are scampering about.
Yeah, I'm gonna text Aurora right now. Take a picture of any furries that you see.
What happens if, like, to a furry? Do you go up and can you like pull the tail on the furry?
Oh no, that's harassment.
All right. Well, either way, I don't. This is where I feel very, very old, because I was totally flummoxed by what I saw, and now when I see one, I hone in like a laser on the laser furry. But yeah, I didn't know what they were, honestly, though. I guess Kobe L. Thiel was saying that he was a furry. He had a furry stage at one point in his life for like a year or two.
That matches. I believe it.
Yeah, let's see here. Joseph says, skier hater of flowing wells sends his kids to the swamp of Mountain View. Hey, what's wrong with Mountain View?
Yeah, you're right.
Right. All right. Kobe L. Thiel says, Mike, yes, I was a furry for a year. This has also been a thing for 20 plus years. Sorry, didn't know about it. Just finding this out. Sorry. All right. Now, let's get back to a little bit of Arizona sports. Hey, can you stick around for a few more minutes, Sheer?
Like 5.
All right, 5, and then I'll just go. I'll take it from there. More furry talk with your local programming. All right, Arizona though, BYU. Right now, we're not getting you. We're not getting you on Friday because you're going to be on assignment in Provo, Utah.
I'm going to be in the streets, Mike.
Sure, you and I are both picking Arizona, and we're actually picking Arizona in kind of an easy victory.
Well, I don't want to go that far. I don't think 17
plus points.
I think 17 points is hard earned, Mike. I don't believe there's anything that. No, I do think Arizona is going to beat BYU. It is one, without even looking at numbers or stats or anything. We've been around Arizona football long enough to know how this is going to go.
Yes, I would agree with that. And I will say that I am going to go Arizona 27. BYU 17, my friend. That's where I'm going.
They scored 27 points?
I think Arizona's going to score 27. Dude, I'm telling you, they are going to force feed the ball to Jeremiah Patterson nonstop the entire game. They are going to be listening to what we were saying about this man needs 14 targets per game. And when he does, and he gets 2 or 3 touchdowns like he does, there's room for T-Mac to eat after that.
I'm going 24-20 Arizona.
Either way, you like it. What did you say again?
24-20 Arizona.
You said you liked a 10-point game.
I changed my mind.
Okay, now Jose L. Roman Jr., the great Jose L. Roman Jr. So, all right, now Kobe keeps going crazy. Fine, Kobe said he was only furry for 6 months, not a year. I apologize. It was only.
I think he said he rode a ferry, not a furry.
I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know. But either way, there was certainly furries there.
Yeah.
Now, what Gringo Billy says, Kobe should be a bald eagle furry. That's not a bad idea. I like that. A bald eagle furry. Or featherer. What's a featherer? Isn't that the name of that tennis player, Roger Federer?
Yeah, Roger Federer.
All right, now. Anyways, now Kobe didn't actually say that. Wink, wink. All right. Yes, exactly. Now, I am going to go though Arizona, but here, people, the routing guide will be out here coming up next. The routing guide will be coming out on Friday. We have a massive routing guide, and this is a big time for the prodigious Kevin Thomas as well. I would imagine Gunner's out the season. That's just a guess. Just a guess. Roger Federer.
I am landing in Provo Friday a little earlier than I really want to in order to watch ASU Utah.
Oh, nice. So
live from a bar. Are there bars in Provo?
Wait a second. There's not bars in Provo, are there?
I'm sure there's
Do they
established
serve alcohol, or is it like O'Doul's?
sports bars in Provo.
Hmm.
No, they probably serve they have sports bars.
Hey, you know what you need to do there? You need to go to a Circle K.
I don't think they have them in Provo.
They don't have Circle Ks in Provo?
I would doubt it.
How do they not have Circle Ks in Provo?
Let me see. Circle K in Provo, Utah.
Gringo Billy has Zima carved.
Dude, I don't think they do, Mike.
They don't have Circle Ks in Provo. That's why I'm not going with you.
No, they do. They do. We're good. No, they don't. They don't. They don't. Holy crap. Whoa. What is this? Well, hold on. I may have just found something.
We're breaking news here. Circle K's in Provo, Utah.
No.
All right.
Circle K is a Mormon community.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get back to the routing guide, though. How do I get in, or Dennis Walsh when he's flying over? By the way, Dennis Walsh, this guy's awesome. He's like in one of his fighter jets and he's flying over Arizona taking pictures of it.
I'm very into this. Hold on. I did find a sports bar in Provo.
With alcohol?
I mean, there's pictures of beer, but is it like normal beer?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it's O'Doul's.
I'm going to look this up. You keep up. This is.
All right, well, I'll keep talking. The routing guide, though, or maybe I'll have the routing guide when Sheer steps off here for a second. Jose L. Roman Jr., I like this. Caden Luke, Big Fam, needs to have a career number of snaps. I like that. This feels like a game for Big Fam.
Do you think, okay, Mike, they have real beer because their picture on their website is of Four Peaks. Anyway.
Will you take, all right, here's what I need you to do. Will you take a picture of a beer while you are there in Provo, Utah, of you drinking a beer?
Yeah, I'll try to. Yeah.
Okay.
I have before I go, I have something very important. 35 yards over under Jeremiah Patterson.
Way over.
Okay.
There's no way this coaching staff isn't watching this and saying, man, we've really messed this one.
Should I ask Duane Akina how they covered Jeremiah Patterson in camp?
Yes, I'm telling you, I will take Noah. I'm not going to back away from that one as well. But again, that is where I am at with that, though, Sheer. I would agree with you. So again, you're backing the A on this trip. You will be drinking there tomorrow. This is true.
I'm gonna try to have a beer. Yeah, I don't know how this works.
Oh, Kobe Alfiel says, I have a furry buddy that lives there. Want me to ask him where the best spot would be to watch? Yes, Kobe, definitely let us know what Jason Sheer is looking for.
I'm going to tweet this. Are there sports bars that serve legitimate beer, right?
Yeah, legitimate beer.
Got it.
Okay, that's it. All right, Sheer. We very, very much appreciate you. Safe flight, my friend.
Maybe I'll try to check in from the airport on Friday.
Oh, dude, that would be great. That would be amazingly awesome. Actually, I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm going to try to check in on the airport. So my flight's not until 12. So depending on when I get in there and stuff, I'll try to check in.
Hey, you know who you should have? Actually take you there? Dennis Walsh. This guy's a fighter jet pilot or something. He's always
take me. Why'd I pay for a flight?
He's always taking like journeys over the U of A. So again, maybe have Dennis Walsh take you, the great Dennis Walsh.
I could have skydive out of the plane or whatever.
Maybe you could unmute him on Twitter while he's doing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, Sheer, very safe travels, my friend, though.
Cheers, everyone.
Break a leg.
I will.
There you go. Don't walk under a meter. Okay. Good job. All right, Sheer. TTF at the wave. Oh, hey, can you just stay on for a second? We got the
go. Got it.
Okay. All right, we got a 2-second pause here as we get this ready. Wave time, everyone. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Get the wave. Get in here. Get in here now. Look at the wave. Woo!
Bye, everyone. Wave it up.
All the wave. No, Kevin Thomas behind the scenes also doing the wave. Everybody get the wave in. Dennis Walsh, Andy Bryant, a lot of some good waves. Kobe, come on. Everybody get in there. This is what it is. It is a fun, immersive experience. As you know, you do you at the Gila River Resorts and Casinos. The wave, everybody. Hey, Sheer, are you flying out of Sky Harbor?
Yeah.
Get a
I'll
picture.
I'll take a picture. You got my word. Yeah, you got my word.
All right. Yes. Get a picture of the wave. We need that one. There you go. The wave again. Everybody do it. The wave, the Gila River Resort.
Goodbye, kids.
What's that?
Goodbye.
All right. TTFN. See you later. All right. Anyways, check it out. The Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Another one of these ones. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playGila.com for more details. And no better time to become a PHNX diehard, my friends. No better time. All right. There's all kinds of good stuff that you got here. You've got you can become a, like I said, you can get diehard membership card, free t-shirt of your choice from the locker, access to all our premium written discount, entrance to the Discord lounge, discounts on all events, and free waves. Everybody out there doing the wave, we very much like it. Again, become a diehard today. All right, now, the great Kevin Thomas, the prodigious Kevin Thomas, is going to be coming now with our rooting guide coming up here. But everybody, we have a big rooting guide this week. It is a jam-packed rooting guide. Now, obviously, Arizona over BYU, duh. But also, we've got Utah over ASU. Now, listen. Utah has been added to the rooting guide because of their fans. We will, but this week we are in on Utah over ASU. That is definitely going to be part of the rooting guide. Now, we've also got Washington against Iowa. Now, that game, the over-under is 2 points. And so we just basically need a safety from Iowa to be able to win that game. That is the over-under in that game. And then we have, what's the other one? Oh, Colorado, Kansas State. We are all Wildcats this week. We are all Wildcats. Yes. No. Kevin, that's on me. I'm just doing that to kill some time sorry, Kevin Thomas. I'm just doing this to kill a few minutes of time, but we will have the official rooting guide on Friday. But Kansas State, we need Kansas State to win this game against Colorado because we need Colorado reeling. We need them to lose. Again, Colorado is coming off a victory. We do not need any of that. So again, Colorado lose. So again, Arizona over BYU. I like our chances. Let's see here. Utah over ASU. I like our chances. Iowa in a 2-0 shootout over Washington. I like our chances. And Kansas State. I am going in here and I'm going all in, and I am saying that we are going to go 4-0 on the rooting guide this week. But remember, like I said, we are expanding the rooting guide. This needs to be very, very clear. We're expanding the rooting guide into adding Utah. So the teams that we root against, obviously ASU at the top, then smelly, rainy Seattle. Then we have Colorado, and then we have Utah. Those are the 4. We need those. Now, Gringo Billy says Iowa wins 4-0, 2 safeties. Ooh, interesting. So you got Gringo Billy saying that. Interesting. All right. Now, TJ Van Martyr says, funny, our rooting guide includes the 3 other teams from the Pac-12. Yeah, that is funny, but I didn't want that to have to be the case, but Utah fans forced their way into this. They forced their way onto the rooting guide. And you know what? Listen, when you mess with the bull, you get the horns, or whatever that phrase is. So that's where we're at. That will be our rooting guide, though. But again, I am picking Arizona, everybody. You should all pick Arizona as well. Okay, now Armando Duarte says ASU is going to upset Mike. I'm sorry. No, they are not. They are not. That is not the kind of pessimistic attitude that we want. Okay, but on that note, very much appreciate you all listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. The prodigious Kevin Thomas behind the scene doing yeoman's work. Very, very good stuff. The Saint Lunatic. But we'll be back with you on a Friday. Oh, by the way, AZ Cats G, $2 super snap. Sounds like a sweet parlay, Mike. Absolutely. Get in there. Mike got a phrase right. Miracles. All right, Dennis Walsh, back the A, back the Mike, back the fashionable Kevin Thomas, back Ted Wardo. Wop. All right, on that note, though, everybody out there, very much appreciate you. TTFN, ta-ta for now. You have been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.